and I ended up DNFing it. Wanna pick some books? I reread The Fault in Our Stars. Continuing series that I'm not 100% sure about yet is the next category. Ashley Poston. Hey, 5 stars for the cover though, am I right? Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So this is gonna be an exciting video because it's gonna be my October wrap up and November TBR. And in the month of October, I feel like I actually read a lot of books, and then the books that I read were ones that I've either had for a while or just were really popular. So I'm excited to chat about them with you guys and see if you guys share my same opinions or not. And then we're gonna be doing something super fun for my November TBR. So let's hop on in. Okay, so we started the month off a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. So I was reading this book from September 17th to October 8th, and I ended up DNFing it. So we started off the month kind of like a week into it, not really reading much, and then what I was reading, obviously I ended up DNFing. The book I was spending all my time with just wasn't anything I wanted to continue, and that was The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I have had this book for probably 3 years, and I always thought I'd enjoy it, and I really have loved the cover, but yeah, I ended up DNFing it. I want to say like 50 to 70% through, and I did mark it as read because I got a reading goal to catch, let's be honest. But yeah, I just really didn't care. Like, I thought the premise was really interesting, how they are on a radio show and then they have to be fake exes on a news show and talk like about their relationship and stuff that they obviously never had. So I thought the premise was interesting, and I've always enjoyed listening to the radio when they're playing the right songs. I've always been interested in radio. I did think I'd enjoy this, but I really just did not connect to the characters at all. Like, I didn't even like them at all. So I didn't like their romance either. So when it started to develop and it felt very physical to me, I just didn't care. And I had a moment when I was listening and I'm like, why am I still listening to this? Like, I literally do not care. Like, I'm never gonna think about this book again. And I don't know, maybe the writing too was kind of tripping me up, but yeah, I did not enjoy this, so I ended up DNFing it, which I still counted as read, because if I was reading it from the 17th to the 8th, I'm marking that as read. And I was 70% through, and I am a little behind in my reading goals, so sorry, not sorry. And then we have another book that took me forever to get through and get into, The Gilded Wolves by Roshani. I ended up giving this 3 stars, which I feel like it's kind of generous because I could not get into this book for like 50% of it, and it just took me so long to get through, and I just couldn't like get sucked into the world. But at the end of the book, I did really love the characters. I just thought that their found family and each of their character traits was really well done, and I did enjoy kind of the Six of Crows-ness of this book, how they had to work together on a task and how they all came together and used their own abilities to work towards the task. So I did like that. But again, this just took me so long to get through, and I feel like if I would have stopped it and not pushed through, I could have read some other books that I would have enjoyed more this month maybe. So yeah, I was reading this from September 24th to October 12th. And yeah, like I said, this month just started off kind of rough for me because for the first like week or two, I was reading these books which didn't end up being super great, you know? So I could have just stopped sooner and read better books. It's okay, you live and you learn, but this one was still decent. I don't know if I'm going to continue the series. At first I was like, no, because I thought it would wrap up better than it did, but then something happened and I'm like, should I just look up a spoiler? Maybe. Another book I've had forever, we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This was my first Lauren Asher book, so I'm pretty proud that this is finally read. I've had this again for probably like 3 years now, so I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I found it really entertaining. Like, I was hooked the entire audiobook, and I really enjoyed the setting of the theme park. I'm personally not an amusement park girly. I don't enjoy rides. They just don't sit well with my stomach. 4 or 5 years ago, I went to a theme park, and you guys know like the ship ride that literally just goes like, I was so nauseous after, I could not function. Like, I was laying down on a picnic table, like just trying not to, you know. So I'm not a rides girly. A water park though, I'll do anything. Water parks are my shit. But amusement parks, no. It was really fun to read about though, because lately especially I've been wanting to go to Disney, not necessarily for the rides. So like, would I actually go? Because like, is it worth it to go and not be like a super ride person? I don't know. But yeah, so it was really interesting to me. I just didn't really love the characters too much, and I felt like there were some things missing in this book. Like, we could have talked more, especially about the girl's past. Like, there was a couple big points brought up, and we just didn't get a lot of details on, like, with people she associated with or her past relationships. We could have got so much more because it was such a big, like, plot point in this. Like, it was brought up every so often, but then we just didn't get the details or, like, you know, like the full story. Like, we got some details but not enough, I feel. And I just didn't really love, I mean, the guy was cool, I liked him, but I did feel like he was a little bit mean to everyone around him, which, like, I get that's the point, but like a little too mean, you know? So yeah, I ended up giving this 3 stars. I really enjoyed the vibes of it, and I thought it was cool, and I like the family. I probably will continue this series, but not right away, because I do have the 2nd book, but I don't have the 3rd. I've just seen the 3rd book is like double this size, and I'm like, ugh, because this already did feel pretty long. And then the next book I read was Nothing Like the Movies. This one also kind of took me forever to get through. This month was kind of just weird. I don't know. I was reading some books super slowly throughout the whole month, and others I read like so fast. But yeah, this I read from the 1st when it came out to the 17th, and that is simply because I ran out of Spotify hours with like 50 pages left, and then I got how many pages left I had confused, so I just kept putting it off and tried to wait till I had more hours, and then I just finished it because I actually had 30 pages left. Did that make sense? Probably not. I wrote on my Goodreads 3.75, but I think I'm gonna give it or a 4. I don't really know. I've talked about this, I feel like, a lot in the reading vlog and just maybe in other videos. I feel like this was so well done because with a lot of other sequels that aren't necessarily necessary or that come a ways after the book, they can honestly kind of be like money grabby, like, you know what I mean. We all read It Starts With Us at some point. This actually did not feel like that to me at all. I went into this with really low expectations because I just assumed it was going to be like a kind of pointless sequel, but it had purpose. I can confirm that, and it was really sweet, and I feel like Lynn Painter did such a good job of showing us more about the characters in such a unique way for a sequel like this. So I really loved it. I thought it was so well done, and I do love Liz and Wes so much, and I did enjoy this story because honestly, like, it felt like a whole other book, or like even a new book. I love Lynn Painter's writing, especially her YA books. They are just so quick and easy and fun. Okay, and then I read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I gave this a 2 star. My Goodreads review literally says, but like, what was the point of this? So what I said. So yeah, I read this in 1 day though. So it was super fast paced. Like, the audiobook, when I would like look where I was at in the book, I'm like, I'm already 200 pages in. Like, it was just crazy how fast paced this book was. I just did not really care about the characters or the romance, and to me, I went into this not really expecting to be like super in love with the characters, but I really was excited about the Gilmore Girls vibes, and it did definitely deliver on the Gilmore Girls vibes. Like, the town, certain like quirks of the town, like the town meetings and the characters and how they act was very similar. But yeah, again, I just didn't really care at all, and it did kind of feel like pointless. Like, the romance didn't have much depth, and I don't know, I just didn't really care. And the Gilmore Girls were a little less than I expected. The Gilmore Girls vibes were a little bit less than I expected. I did enjoy listening to the audiobook. It was entertaining and fast paced, but there were just some parts of this that I was like, why is this even happening? Like, this is just kind of dumb. That's what I thought about this one. If you want just like a fun, short, fast paced, fall-y read, there you go. I don't think I will continue the series though, so. Okay, 5 stars for the cover though, am I right? Okay, and then I read, this was a random Libby pickup, and then so was the next one. We have Saturday Night at the Lakeside Supper Club. I've seen this book before, but I haven't really wanted to pick it up before, but I saw it was available now on Libby, so I read the little summary, and I'm like, okay, I could get down with this. This was actually a really good story. I really enjoyed this, and I feel like I love a character-driven story if done right, and if I can like the characters and connect to them. So it kind of starts off, you get kind of the story of a couple generations of women in this family. You get the story of how kind of they became to inherit this supper club. So you get the story of kind of how that became, and then her working at it, and then just learning more about her life, her mom's life, her grandma's life, all of that. And I really enjoyed this book because although there wasn't much like plot, it was such a good character study. Like, the characters were so, I feel like, unique, and the setting was super unique, like a small town. I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. There's a lot that the characters go through. The supper club's kind of just like the center, probably some like metaphor or something. Like, it was such a good story. It just felt really wholesome, and I wanted the best for the characters, and this was a great story. I loved it. I just felt like these characters felt so real. They had flaws, they made decisions I didn't agree with, but in the end I absolutely loved them, and I gave this story 4 stars, I think. It just felt so real, like it could actually happen, and I really enjoyed seeing the different generations of women in this family and what they all decided to do with the supper club and how their views on it, I guess. You got a lot of different timelines too, because obviously since it showcased different generations, you got, I think the main was like the 70s, I think. I ate this up, honestly. I read this in 3 days. Well, listened, read, whatever. This book, Loki ate for no reason. The Siren by Kiera Cass. Now, Kiera Cass and I don't really know, because I read the Selection series multiple times. I've read it. Like years and years ago I read it, and then a couple years ago I reread it. I love the Selection series like so much. Like it is so good. To me, it's not even funny. Like I love it. And then I read another one of her books, The Betrothed. I still don't know how to say it. And this was like a 2-star. It was just really weird, very, very, very fast paced, and just felt too rushed. The world was interesting, but like that's about it. So didn't really love that. But The Siren, this book ate for no reason. I ended up giving this, I wrote 4.25, okay, this low-key ate, but I think I'm gonna drop it down to a 4 because I haven't really thought about it since. So this follows our main girl, don't remember her name, but she is basically a siren, Obvi, and there is a couple other girls with her that are also sirens. They're at the ocean's beck and call, basically. They do also have a life. They've traveled the world and they live in different places every so often. I think they start off in Miami. So you get the story of them kind of going out on the world normally as humans, but also being at the siren's beck and call and what that's like. And there is a little romance in this. I was so invested in this story. I loved the characters so much, and I just wanted everything to work out for them, and I really enjoyed how the story wrapped up. And it honestly wasn't what I was expecting at all. Like the plot kind of took some turns, and I was like, okay, Kiera Cass. And it was so fast paced because it's YA, just like super short story, and it was so good. The ocean was, oh my gosh, wait. Personified. The ocean was personified. I feel like I've just been really bringing out my school knowledge lately, and it makes me feel great. The ocean was kind of personified. You know, it kind of told them what to do, where to go, and all of that, and I really enjoyed learning about that and how their sirens worked, because I've read a couple other siren books and they've been completely different from this one, and I loved learning about the other girl sirens that she's with, because they just had such a good relationship and they all kind of had different personalities and things they did. So I really enjoyed that, and this book ate. And then I listened to The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. I think I got like a blind copy on Libby for this. Like it was just available and I borrowed faster than I've ever borrowed. I basically listened to this entire thing in one sitting, and I colored in their coloring book I have. That was last week's video, I think. This thriller was kind of different from hers, I feel like. Like it wasn't super thrilling and scary. Like a lot of her other books I feel like are more like I get scared. I get nervous for the characters, which I definitely was in this one, but it's like a different type of nervous, you know? This was kind of more mystery-y. You're trying to uncover throughout the story what happened to someone and just what's going down and who's who, basically. So you get 2 timelines through this. One is in the past of someone's like high school, I think it was high school, and then the other is in the present, and our main girl is kind of entering the dating world in New York City. So she goes on a couple dates and she eventually gets a boyfriend, and so you're watching their relationship develop, and then with her you see her friends as well, follow along the relationship, her life and everything. And also the past timeline, you are following a guy in high school and also his friends, and then he has a girlfriend at that time too. I'm kind of just gonna leave it there because I don't know what to say and what not to say. Maybe look up the trigger warnings though, because it was a little gory and gruesome at some points, and it did talk about some difficult topics, so I would probably look up the trigger warnings. It did kind of gross me out a bit at some points. I'm like, huh, headphones off, we're done for a bit, you know? But yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop listening at all. And then next I finished Phantasm. Why did I say it like that? Phantasma? Whoa. This one also took me a bit to get into. I read this from the 18th to the 26th. I enjoyed this one a lot. I really enjoy the kind of premise of books like Caraval and, okay, maybe just like Caraval is the only one I've read, where there's like a magical game type thing and it's like a whole other world and like you can't leave, you're just like stuck in it. So that is what this did. It follows Ophelia. She has a sister and she basically enters this contest of Phantasma Phantasma. There is 9 different trials she has to go through, and there's just other stuff going on too in the like manor hotel thing that is Phantasma. And what I really liked about this book is how the author Kaylee Smith portrayed Ophelia's OCD. I just felt very seen with some of the things Ophelia was going through. Not all of them, but definitely some aspects of her OCD were very relatable to me, and I just felt very seen and really appreciated how she portrayed it in such a way that kind of shows what it's actually like and not just, I guess, what people think or assume it's actually like. I'm super excited for the next one to come out and to read her other books because I really thought she did such a good job developing this world, and it was so good to me, especially the world building. I really liked the setting of this book. I thought it was the perfect like fall kind of spooky mysterious vibe, and I cannot wait to continue the series because she's such a good author. Okay, this book is kind of, some of these are just so random. Like the next 2 are so random. And then I read Among Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. I've had this book for so long I don't even remember where I got it. I think I thrifted it or something. Again, it was one of those Libby's available now, and I'm like, wait, Ashley Poston, and then I was like, wait, I own that. I enjoyed this book. I really liked the world of it and the premise. It just isn't something that's gonna stick with me, and I did kind of find myself spacing off at some points during the audiobook and just not being able to like lock in. So the main premise of this is our main girl, Karis. So they're in this like kingdom, and she and her dad work in the garden of the kingdom, I think, or like greenhouse type thing, whatever. And there is this magical crown in the world where I think the king has to wear it, and they're at the coronation, and Ceres's friend is supposed to be getting the crown, and basically ish goes down, and there's this like scary woods there that's like has evil things, I guess I could say, and everyone basically turns evil, and so Karis and her fox have to go into the wood and try and stop it. Felt very fast paced. Like I feel like Ashley Poston kind of just told us what we needed to know. Like there wasn't super a lot of detail like on her house before she left the kingdom, whatever, and I kind of enjoyed that actually because I just got through this really fast and it was really enjoyable. I did like the vibes of this because it was just very like plant, flower, woods, animal heavy, and I just like that. I mean, you can tell that from the cover that that's the vibe. I really enjoyed how this ended and wrapped up. It was a very cute story. There's little romance in it. I liked it. 3 stars for this one. Probably won't think about it that often, but it was really fun. The last book I read, you guys will understand in a couple weeks, maybe next week. I reread The Fault in Our Stars. This is just so random. I read this probably for the first time 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't remember. Like that time, 2014, 2016, when it got super popular. I definitely have read this multiple times before, and I've seen the movie multiple times before again. I wanted to reread it. There is a reason. You'll see next week, hopefully. I just really like this book a lot. At first, I was like, am I in the mood for this? Like, I don't know if I can do this. But then when I got to like 50 pages in, I was just sucked in because it's just such like a modern classic. Everyone has to read this book, and everyone probably has. It was just so good. I really remembered a lot of this book, but certain details I didn't remember. I love this story so much. It just feels so deep, and their connection is so deep. If you don't know what this is about, it is about Hazel, and she has cancer that is terminal. She goes to this support group every Wednesday night in this church basement, and Augustus Waters appears at the support group because his friend invites them. Augustus also had cancer. You basically follow them connecting and forming a friendship. Just like what they bonded over is so wholesome. I just love their relationship so much, and this book just feels so just like deep, and I feel like John Green did. Obviously I can't really speak on the cancer and stuff like this, but I feel like he made it realistic and showed the emotions that you would go through. I just love more character driven book like this because like there wasn't so much like plot, like action happening, but there was just so much you learn about the characters and the people in their lives and the things they enjoy and all of that. I think I give this like a 4-star, but like this is one that like I don't want to rate because it's like a childhood favorite of mine. I don't know, but I think 4. Part of it's a 5-star because it just means so much to me because I loved it so much when I was younger. That is the last book I think I'm gonna get to this month. So let's go have Zeus pick my TBR. Okay, so for my November TBR, I'm going to have him pick 4 different books, and I kind of have them, I tried to like group together like similar vibes or like what my brain considers similar. So let's run through the options and then he will pick, and then we'll chat about the books and why I wanted to read them and stuff like that. First set of books, we have Daughter, Trial of the Sun Queen. This book I have been like 100 pages into for like months and months and months, and have been months and months and months into filming a video that this is in. So I would love to get that video up eventually. So I'd love to finish this. This book I also have planned for something special. I have read this. I read this probably 7-8 years ago, and I did really enjoy this series. My parents got me it for my birthday, and that is just so special because when people pick out books for you that they think you'll love that you haven't seen before, it just means so much. So I want to reread this book because I've seen kind of people talking about it lately. So pick these, continuing, finally, and rereading. So let's see what he picks for these. Okay, I think I'm just gonna put them in the hallway, make him sit back and put a toy on each one. All right, we're gonna go. Here, come here. Come back here. Come, come here. Let's try again. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Zit. I'm counting that. I'm sorry. He's just wants the toy. He doesn't want to listen to me. Yeah, I said that about you, boy. I said that about you. Huh? And then the next category, we have kind of like romance books. This one I got in a blind date with the book. It's said to be Luke x Lorelai vibes, so that is why I bought it on the blind date with a book. I just am really excited about this because it seems right up my alley. I think it's like lit fic romance type vibe. And then this I just also got for my birthday, Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. So I thought these would go together. I bought them recently and they're both on my radar. So let's see what he picked with this. I'm trying to get new toys each time because he likes to stick with the same ones. Okay, get a toy! He keeps going to this side. Bro. What? You keep picking that side? They're gonna think I'm cheating. They're gonna think I'm cheating. And then the second set is continuing series. So for this one, I have Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco. I really want to get to the purple, the pink one. I forget what it's called right now. But so I want to finish the series. I didn't love the first one, but I've kind of had a spark of motivation again because Miss Tiffany has been reading this series and I think she gave them all like 5 stars. So that means I have to reread them, recontinue, whatever. And then the second book is Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd in the Chestnut Springs series, I think. So I have been working my way through the series for years at this point, and I just really want to get through it because it's like, I feel like everyone like loves it, but for me it's just like okay. And I feel like I've heard great things about this book, so I have high expectations that it might be my favorite. So continuing series that I'm not 100% sure about yet is the next category. He's on the other side now, so I'm just gonna put him over here. Okay, Zaggy, get a toy, get a toy! Oh. Well, it's gotta be Kingdom of the Cursed. Yeah? You like this game? Do you like this game? And then last, these, I'm gonna hopefully read both of these either way. Maybe in November, maybe some in December, but this will be like what one I read first, I guess. So these are planned out for a little video, so try and guess if you want, but I'm gonna tell ya. We have Stephen King's Christine. I also saw Abigail's Cup of Tea, I think, reading this recently, and it just sounds really good to me. I think that this is like Stephen King's more like literary fiction mystery like Billy Summers was. I don't think this is horror. I hope it's not horror because your girl is a little baby. She's scared. She does not like horror movies or anything scary. Hoping that this isn't horror, but if it is, maybe I'll love it. Let's think positive here. Maybe I'll love it. So I'm excited about this one, and I loved Billy Summers by Stephen King, so I hope that I love this as well. So let's see if he picks that. And then next we have Kristen Hanna's Night Road. I am like 20 pages into this. Okay, maybe like 10. Okay, I'm 13 pages into this, but like I'm probably just started over again. I keep thinking this is like the book of hers titled Winter something because the cover just like gives that vibe. But yeah, I'm excited to read this because I read The Nightingale recently, and that book was incredible, like number 1 or 2 of the year. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this, and I hope, I don't know which one because I want to read these equally, and like I'm gonna read them both eventually, maybe this month. So let's see what he picks. Hey bud, you want to help? You want to help me? You want to pick some books? You want to pick some books? Okay. That was so gentle. You didn't even care about that one. You don't even care about your bird. The results are in. Come here. Why don't you come here and talk to them? Come here. This is your channel too. Come on. He just wants to play with the toys he picked. So, the first book we have is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I remember certain parts of this book and aspects, but I feel like this is one that I definitely need to reread from my childhood because I don't remember it well at all. The back, I'm just going to read this. It's kind of like some little sneak peeks. It says, you wake up with no memory of the last few days. Your friends were killed in an accident that you miraculously survived. Your family has to move to another state to escape the fallout. You meet a mysterious boy who seems to know more about your past than you do. You start seeing things that can't possibly be there. You are afraid you're losing your mind. Can you keep it together? Mara Dyer is about to find out. I read the entire trilogy, like I said, probably 8 years ago. I don't even remember. But yeah, I remember really enjoying it. And I can't remember, like, I guess, like, the answers to all those questions on the back. So I'm intrigued to reread this and see. I just remember really liking the vibes of this book and thinking it was very unique and well done. And then the next one he picked, I'm a little annoyed about this because I don't know if I'm gonna like the rest of this series, but we have Kingdom of the Cursed. I just couldn't really connect to Kingdom of the Wicked, so I'm hoping this goes better. But hey, I feel like Zeus knows me very well, so maybe he thinks I'll love this, and maybe I will. I don't even really remember what Kingdom of the Wicked was about, but I think they were witches and then the Prince of Hell. So I think I'm gonna try and go in this one blind. I might have to read like a summary about Kingdom of the Wicked, but yeah, hopefully I can get to this. And I feel like this is a good like fall vibe book since we're technically gonna still be in fall in November, which like to me, after Halloween, it's Christmas time. To me, Thanksgiving doesn't even seem like a fall holiday, which like that's so wrong. Like it is, but I don't know. I just feel like because the day after Thanksgiving, we always decorate for Christmas. So maybe that's why. I feel like this should be good fall winter book. So bro's going crazy with the toy from one of the books. The next book he picked is Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. I don't even really know what this one is about, but I'm excited because it just seems super fun and cute, and I love the movie Tangled. It is one of my favorite princess movies, and I feel like I watched it recently-ish, like maybe a year ago. It is so good, so I'm really intrigued to see how they do this. Obviously it's gonna be different. Like I don't think she's gonna be up in the tower, but maybe she will. I don't know, but I'm really excited because I just love Tangled, and Flynn Rider is just like the man. Like he is the man. Can't wait to read this, and I really hope the guy gives Flynn Rider vibes because Flynn Rider, I wish you were real. And then the last book he picked is Christine by Stephen King. I don't know too much about this. Like I said before, I really don't know if it's horror. I don't know if it's that genre or not, but it doesn't really sound like it. So they're in high school, and him and his friend, they see a car for sale named Christine. Basically, it looks like the car kind of changes them. Like they feel like more confident and stuff once they have it, and just kind of like changes their mindset, I guess. But it looks like there's like an ugly truth behind the car that's like murderous and scary, and yeah, let's hope it's not too scary. Oh, now I'm scared it's gonna be horror. I don't know. Does it say? Terrifying. King is a horrific storyteller. I am really excited though because I just love Stephen King's writing so much, and he is just such a good author. I do love a vintage vibe. He says vintage King. Breathtakingly awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, give it a big thumbs up, and let me know down below if you like these like wrap up and TBR in ones. I kind of do because I don't know, wrap up and TBR videos are usually on the shorter side for me, so I just like combining them into one, and usually I don't end up posting both, so this way you get 2 in 1. So on that note,